A body turns, a body twists. A shape emerges that may cause the observer to flinch and even laugh. Yet the mind within that body knows the meaning. It is the art of contortionism, with a history rooted in ancient civilizations, and it has emerged from its 20th century sideshow detour. Follow us on a journey to explore the lives of 21st century Mongolian contortionists who are in great demand in today's famous shows such as Cirque du Soleil and the Ringling Brothers in Barnum and Bailey Circus. The quest to get to know these amazing individuals lies in an understanding of where they come from. Let us view their world outside the spotlight. Let us learn the secrets of the body in motion.
Contortionism is incredible. It is underrated. While people think that they're amazing, I don't think that the degree of difficulty is nearly acknowledged. There's kind of a misconception that it's something that you can be born with, that it's a reaction to double jointedness, that it's some sort of inherited ability. And people who are world-class contortionists are the most disciplined, hardest working people I could ever think of, and they should never be thought of any other way.
Neck, up, like that. Neck, up. Neck around that, up.
Even with the right teacher, hard work and discipline are only the beginning. Success is reserved only to those who are willing to completely immerse themselves into this field. It is, for all practical purposes, a vocation.
It is definitely not an easy profession to take on. They will experience new pain and tears. Knowing how to fall and catch yourself is very important. Guidance from an experienced professional coach is a must.
If the art of contortionism once existed in Mongolia, it should be evident in historical paintings, drawings, or literature. No such proof seems to exist, and those nomadic people that once lived like kings and queens long ago live a much different lifestyle today.
Mongolian flexible dance movements were passed throughout many generations, long before the Contortionists' Individual Circus Act were ever established. So I believe there were contortionists in Mongolia many years ago, just that they were not called contortionists. For instance, a Western Mongolian ethnic dance requires the knees on the ground as the back bends. Such examples prove that flexible individuals existed in the past.
The style and expression of the individual artist is defined by dance movements incorporated into a contortionist's act. In the early 1920s, the communist Russian influence played a major role in the history of Mongolia. Until the late 1920s, Mongolia had freedom of religion and cultural rights until the purge of Stalinism. In the early 1930s, over 27,000 politicians, educators, and monks were executed by Stalin's order. Historical artifacts and monasteries were burned and destroyed. The Mongolian state circus was established in the 1940s by the Soviet Russians. Young people were strongly encouraged to pursue athletic careers in gymnastics, dance, and circus acts. Special schools were built where young children could receive an education and be trained by professionals, all sponsored by the government.
We were closed off from everything back then. We thought contortion existed only in Mongolia until we began exploring different parts of the world and discovered how this particular skill has a history of its own. Mouth balancing act actually is a famous trick called the Marginelli technique that came out in 1926. We were only allowed to travel to 14 socialist and communist countries. Every move was watched and controlled.
When I was little, I heard America was such a horrible country, like, oh, that's our enemy, and they're so mean. And you're basically almost like a brainwashed. It's true.
When our performers travel to another country representing Mongolia in shows and competitions, they often win rewards. Those prizes would come with a generous amount of dollars. And instead of letting the artists keep their earnings that they work for, our government would collect 95% of the reward. That's how our country was supported.
As much as the Soviets ruined the old Mongolia, they've also helped build a new Mongolia, providing widespread educational opportunities in areas such as classical ballet and theater.
My coach was so tough. Yes, I used to get spanked a bunch of times, but look, I'm not upset. Actually, I am happy the way she did it. I'm not happy she spanked it that time. I cried, but guess what? Because who I am today, that helped.
During an international art award competition, I compared our Mongolian students to those children from wealthy countries that have everything provided for them, including health care and big opportunities. Our kids, coming from a poor country without proper vitamin nutrition and a daily balanced diet, competed with those wealthy countries and brought home a gold medal. But we still face a lower standard of living compared to those from most countries.
Mongolian contortionists are connected to nature and their religion, which is often expressed through the movement of their body.
Traveling to all these capitalist countries, such as America, was forbidden not long ago, and it seemed like another planet.
Communism reaches its end in Mongolia at the end of 1989, and Zoreg, a strong leader and activist, emerged, which encouraged the people of Mongolia to peacefully protest for a free market and free elections. The freedom movement led to the destruction of the statue of Stalin that once stood in the heart of Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. However, the democracy people longed for brought the nation to what seemed like instant poverty.
I came to America in 91. I had a contract with Ringling Brothers Barton and Bailey Circus.
In the Ringling, Utko performed alongside of 40 other Mongolian artists traveling around the country and learning about American culture. The experience opened her mind to the world of many possibilities. Coach Magic Surin was one of the authorities that was assigned to bring every single performer back to Mongolia after the 2-year contract ended. She had strict rules for her contortionists to follow. Among them was Undarma, who studied under the skillful training of Magic Surin since she was 7. In the meantime, poverty in Mongolia was beginning to peak. The transition to democracy affected everyone. Performers would send 40% of their paychecks back home to Mongolia to support their country. The news of hard life continued to arrive through letters and phone calls. Those who had come to America were considered the lucky ones. The exciting 2 years of the Ringling experience was coming to an end in November of 1993. The performers had to return back to Mongolia, but Undarma and Otko signed new contracts with the blessing of Coach Magic Surin and continued their journey of performing in America. There are still many contortionists in Mongolia today hoping for a chance to get recognized and fulfill their dreams.
I learn something new every day, and it's very fun.
What are you going to be when you grow up?
I'm thinking contortionist.
Okay, Natalie, show me one. Strong leg, yes. Go.
Do you want to hear how I think Akko saved my life?
Yes.
So we'd been stretching for about 3 months now, but 2 months at the time, and I was doing my aerial act in the show, and not my fault. The rigging was done wrong, and I fell from my apparatus, and I landed on my face. My neck basically went back the way we'd been stretching it, and I firmly believe that because she made me do that, I didn't hurt myself or die.
People ask me, do you have backbone? I tease them, no, I don't. How are we gonna stand up if we don't have the back?
Well, the areas that I specialize in are taking images or pictures, particularly using MRI and CT scans of the brain and spine. I think one of the things that comes out of this study is that it's a good idea for us to get a baseline evaluation on the contortionist so we know what their spine looks like. The spine is going to be stressed by doing contortion. I mean, it's a very extreme condition. But it's possible, I think, for us to monitor that. And we may also be able to help them make decisions about how long they want to do contortion.
But something else we can do now is marry the data that we have from this with the 3 Tesla data. And the next slide will show you what the result is. This shows the actual spine at the 3T level. And then as we, essentially using software technology, allow us to show how the spine actually bends. And what we see is that the spine itself does not bend very much, but the contortion cells, at least in their performances, look like they're bending tremendously. And what we found was it's not so much the spine where this movement is going on, but it's actually in the hips, where you can see here the contortionist lying down, and then in the flex position, the hips are fully rotated 180 degrees.
Cirque du Soleil is considered one of the best shows in the world. In Las Vegas, 4 Mongolian girls were chosen for the O Show, 2 in Alegria, and 1 for Zumanity. These shows prefer Mongolian performers because of their technique and stage presentation.
Every contortion has their own uniqueness. So what I can do, one of my friends can do, what she can do, I can do. So people need to know, like, everybody has their own uniqueness. You can't just do exactly copy, exactly same thing.
New day will come as new stars will rise and take our breath away. But these legendary talented coaches and contortionists shall never leave our hearts. They are the roots that hold the body in motion.